Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Today we're going to talk about, are we seeing the purge we've always expected in crypto? What are we seeing in a completely different way? This is very interesting when you look at what is shaping up all around the United States and the world right now. A lot of moving parts here, but it seems as if we are having banks, crypto organizations and companies all under scrutiny at the same time. Any bank that is associated with crypto in any way, whether it was Signature Bank, whether it was SoFi, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they are all under some type of scrutiny right now from the US government and regulators. Why? Well, here's the thing, okay? There doesn't seem to be a good reason it's going on right now. Because when you look at what's going on with the SEC and look at Gary Gensler, most likely on his way out, he is on a power grab, as you can see. However, there's more than just the SEC putting pressure on these banks. The SEC isn't in charge of banks, really, unless there's absolute fraud. It's the OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. I know it's a ridiculous name of an organization. But I want to think about something right here. Why would they be putting pressure on banks and on these other organizations? Well, I've told you before, of course, when it comes to Goldman Sachs, Polygon is one of their big investments. When it comes to JP Morgan, I'm not really sure where they fit into this puzzle here, but we do know that, it's a traditional institution that's got exposure to crypto in different ways, even though they say that they don't and they won't. They continue to have this exposure. Then you look at Signature Bank. Okay, now this to me, and SoFi. First of all, SoFi, they were just put pressure on by Elizabeth Warren, get her in the spotlight, asking them what they're doing in terms of handling crypto and handling funds and handling money. Look at a Signature Bank. What is going on with Signature Bank? Is this about the scrutiny on Signature Bank itself? Is this about scrutiny on any of these individual institutions themselves? Or are we looking at a workaround? What's the workaround? Well, people have been screaming from the hills. Binance is insolvent. Everyone's going after Binance. It's gonna crash. It's gonna go to zero. And we look back at the FTX situation. We look at Kevin O'Leary, who now has blocked me, by the way, on Twitter. Shout out to Kevin O'Leary. Thanks for blocking me, man. You really just gave me that validation I was looking for. But the truth is when you look at what's going on with Binance, I've told you before, I'm not worried about them being insolvent. I'm 99% sure that they are. I'm about 80% sure they probably have more money than they're supposed to have, which is pivotal here, okay? Because as this fiasco was going down, and people were pointing fingers, and you look at, why is SBF getting seemingly special treatment to get house arrest, a $250 million bond on something that obviously his family only put up, I think, $2 million for, okay? It doesn't make any sense, or $4.5 million, whatever it was. It doesn't make sense for a $250 million bond. But these two mystery people that signed off on the bond. Don't know who they are. We will find out who they are. But do these people know something we don't? The people that signed that bond. Are they orchestrating the world's biggest FUD campaign against Binance right now for a reason you haven't thought about before? Okay. The United States. Let's think about this. What in the United States is the top traded stablecoin? Okay. USDC. Owned by who? Circle. Coinbase. Then we think a little bit harder and we say, okay, well, what's number 2? In the United States. Obviously Tether. Around the world is number 1. So the question is, what's number 3? BUSD. Binance. US dollar. The equivalent of a 1-to-1 to the US dollar with Binance. And, the majority of their customers hold BUSD. It was very interesting when all that information came out back when the insolvency was just breaking back in November But suddenly, all of a sudden, just like that, it all clicks. And you all start to see how all of this is moving together. FTX getting ready to launch their own stablecoin. They announced it in August. Gemini, their own program, under attack. Well, yeah, the Gemini dollar was doing quite well until that fiasco. Tether just got banned from trading in Canada, or at least certain parts. Testing around for what we're going to see here. Tether's going to be gone in the United States, guys. It's not going to be insolvent. They're going to ban it, okay? They're going to ban it. Probably a Tether ban in America comes this year, I would think, in some form or fashion, or maybe next year at the latest. But what about BUSD? The SEC can't get their hands around Binance. They've cooperated and don't have American customers. Can't go after them. They're not located here. Even if they were to sue, chances are very slim to none it would ever go to trial or there would be anything that would occur there. They just haven't done anything wrong enough that involves Americans for the SEC to be able to take their long tentacles, their long lizard-like, octopus-like tentacles, Gary Gensler's that is, and wrap them around Binance. So what you're seeing is Kevin O'Leary, FTX, all of the people, the OCC, they're starting to understand they can't go after Binance in the traditional way. And they don't really care about Binance. They care about the stablecoin. We're shaping up to see the CBDC. It's going to be USDC. We do know that England is now working, the Bank of England is starting to work on their own CBDC. They said it'll roll out in about 7 years. Could match the timeline, pretty well. A couple years after the launch of the US CBDC is what I, see happening here. But this was never about Binance. This was never about CZ. This is about bringing Binance US dollar, BUSD, as a stable coin, bring it under control and bringing it down. What is a comptroller? The currency. They're in charge of the money. They're in charge of the banks. To me, it feels like a lot of this is coordinated. A lot of this is going after Binance. And you've been trying to figure out the whole time, why in the world were we having CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried fighting? Why in the world were we having FTX, Kevin O'Leary, and everyone under the sun pointing a finger and blaming Binance for what happened that was clearly the fault of Sam and clearly the fault of FTX? And now it all makes sense. It's all about world currency domination, about the Binance US dollar. Drop your comments down below. I want to know what you guys think about this. At this point, I don't know. I'm ready to say it's not even really a theory. I'm ready to say, looking back on everything, I just pieced it all together this morning while I was thinking about it, and it seems to be so obvious what's happening right now. It's right in front of our faces. Will people miss it again? Not really sure. But all right, guys, that's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.